Well, it's been about 24 hours since our embarrassing loss to the extremely depleted 49ers on national television for the entire country to witness. I made an initial thoughts video immediately following that game last night, so go check that out. However, there is a lot more that I would like to say. Before I get into my ranting/venting session, it pains me to say this, but I have to give the 49ers credit for the way they played in last night's game. Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh had an excellent game plan and exposed the Rams' weaknesses. And despite having a depleted roster and having virtually everyone overlooking them, including many 49er fans, they still showed up and delivered. And meanwhile, the Rams looked completely flat to start the game, especially in the first half. Just looked uninspired and seemed very unprepared. Mac Jones looked like Tom Brady last night, and Kendrick Bourne had the game of his life against us, and it's just really sad to see that, but got to give them credit. They both played extremely well. And speaking of Mac Jones, to me, he's looked better than Brock Purdy this season. I know Brock Purdy's dealing with some injuries, but so is Mac Jones. I mean, he continued to ball out against us pretty much on one leg and puking and all that, and he just, like I said, looked like Tom Brady. And look, in the Sean McVay era, the two teams that have given the Rams the most issues by far have been the two teams that we currently have losses to, those being the Eagles and the 49ers. For whatever reason, those are Sean McVay's kryptonite. And, we get some wins against the 49ers here and there. We play them so often, we're bound to get some wins. Obviously, we had that big win in the NFC Championship game nearly 4 years ago, and we swept them last year. But, I mean, when you really look at it, Kyle Shanahan beats Sean McVay probably 7 out of every 10 times they face. And, yesterday was the same as it usually is. Okay, I'm done giving the 49ers credit. Now I am going to rant and vent about my Rams and the glaring issues that this team currently has. I'm just going to start out by saying that we clearly haven't looked like a Super Bowl contending team so far this season. We've looked more like the team that we've had the previous 2 seasons, where we've gone 10-7. And 10-7 is not going to be good enough to win the NFC West this season. The division is loaded. The 49ers can obviously win games with anybody. The Seahawks look pretty good as well. The Cardinals are always a tough out. And then you have us, who also looks good at times, but also we tend to shoot ourselves in the foot quite a bit as well. And I hate to say this, but I'm just going to be honest with you all. We look a bit fraudulent right now. Yes, we're 3-2, and there have been times where we've looked really good, but we're 0-2 in the NFC so far, 0-1 in divisional play. And our 3 wins are against AFC South teams. And honestly, we got pretty lucky against the Colts. The Colts themselves made a bunch of boneheaded mistakes, specifically A.D. Mitchell. And we obviously capitalized on that. But he definitely got some lucky breaks against the Colts too. And nonetheless, our 3 wins are against AFC South teams, and our 2 losses are against some of our stiffest competition in the NFC. And so we got to fix some things. First, I'm going to start with Sean McVay's decision-making and game management, specifically in critical moments of the game. And this isn't just isolated to last night's game or against the Eagles or really just this season in general. This has been an ongoing issue for at least the last few seasons. And in previous seasons, we've been able to be fine and win these games, even with some game management blunders. But this year, we haven't been quite as lucky, and we haven't been able to capitalize and hold on to leads. And it's getting exposed a lot more this season, for sure. Obviously, we'll talk about the biggest blunder from last night's game, and that's simply the fact that in overtime, it was 4th and 1 around the 10-yard line. Kyren Williams had just fumbled the ball late in the 4th quarter earlier in the game. And, Matthew Stafford had been balling out all game. He had just under 400 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. He had just been balling. He's been looking like an MVP candidate so far this season. But, He was balling again last night. And at 4th and 1 around the 10-yard line, he calls a play to run it up the middle. And the 49ers read that like a book and stopped Kyren Williams. And, normally I say to Sean McVay, run the ball more. But in this situation, we needed to get more creative. Play action, something. Get the ball in Puka's hands, get the first down, maybe get the touchdown there. But he got too conservative, kind of overthought it, got in his way a little bit, and it cost us the game. Obviously, that's not the only reason we lost, but it's definitely one of them. And look, I love Sean McVay. He is one of the best head coaches in the NFL, and he's done wonders for this franchise. But I can't deny that he does have some game management issues that he needs to improve upon if we are going to become a legit Super Bowl contender. Speaking of Kyren Williams, fumbled at the 1-yard line when we were about to take the lead against them with about a minute left in the fourth quarter, and he couldn't hold on to the ball. And this is an issue for Kyren Williams. I believe he leads the league in fumbles since the beginning of the 2023 season, and that's a huge issue. Obviously, he does a lot for this team, but it's clear he still has a fumbling issue, and he's got to clean that up. And it's getting really, really hard to continue to defend him at this point because his fumbles have cost us now a couple of different times. And Chris Shula, I always talk about how great of a defensive coordinator you are, but that play calling and that game plan last night, complete trash. You were looking like Raheem Morris out there, and I like Raheem, but his strategy definitely frustrated me when he was our DC. There's a lot of soft coverage. You were allowing the 49ers to constantly convert on 3rd down and even 4th down. And it was so painful to watch. And, I understand that our cornerbacks are complete trash. And obviously, Ahkello Witherspoon's absence has been extremely noticeable because, he has always been very, very solid, above average for us and really good, but he's hurt. And since he got hurt, opposing quarterbacks and wide receivers have been slicing and dicing these corners. And that's another thing. Have to make a move to upgrade this cornerback room, whether if it's going in free agency or making a trade. We got to do something. We cannot stick with this same core or we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Emmanuel Forbes and Darius Williams are not it. They're just not getting the job done. The Emmanuel Forbes project is not working out. It's okay if we keep him on the bench, but I don't want him starting games anymore because it's a huge liability. So please make a move and bring in an upgrade at cornerback. Don't get me started on the special teams. Field goal attempts and extra point attempts keep getting blocked. I believe we have 4 blocked kicks this season already. So it's clearly a massive issue. And I'm not going to blame our 2 losses solely on these blocked kicks, but they definitely played a huge role in it. If those weren't blocked, those could very well have gone in, and who knows? But that definitely needs to get fixed. Josh Carty, you got to learn to make 50-yard field goals, bro. Can't miss those. I know maybe back in the day that was considered a long field goal, but these days, a lot of other kickers are making those with ease, so you got to be able to do the same. I'm sure there's more items that I'm missing, but right now these are the ones that are top of mind for me and the most glaring issues to me that need to be fixed immediately. There is time to turn this thing around, but you got to do it quickly because we're already 5 games in and we have some glaring issues. And like I said, we're a good team, but we're not a great team right now. We look like the same 10-7 team, but if we're going to take that next step forward, we got to fix these issues immediately. Matthew Stafford is playing like an MVP candidate right now. He continues to ball out, and we cannot waste that. We have to capitalize. Go all in. Bring in some guys who can help win immediately. I don't know, but we got to capitalize while Matthew Stafford is still playing at an MVP level because I'd hate to see that be wasted. Look, I hate to be negative. Trust me, I hate it, but I also take pride in being honest in my content. And honestly speaking right now, like I said earlier, we look a bit fraudulent, We look like our same 10-7 selves. And the sky isn't falling yet. We're still 3-2, but some of the stuff that I've talked about that needs to be cleaned up needs to be fixed fast if we are going to make a deep playoff run this year and possibly get back to the Super Bowl. Because if we keep going down this path, then we are in a lot of trouble. I'm just being honest. Anyway, if you've made it through this whole video, thank you. Thank you for watching me rant and vent. I just know this team can be a whole lot better than it's been playing. And there's so much more potential for this team. And we're just not living up to it right now. And it's extremely disheartening. And last night's loss was completely gut-wrenching. Hurts even more than that Eagles loss. With the Eagles, we could chalk that up as being just a road game against the defending Super Bowl champs, early window game on the East Coast. But this one against the 49ers, this one hurts a hell of a lot more. And just like in that Eagles game, we also had opportunities to win this game against the 49ers, and we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. And the 49ers capitalized on our mistakes, and so did the Eagles, and that's just what it is. All right, at the end of this video, I suggest that everyone take a break from social media this weekend. Go watch a movie, go spend time with your families. I don't know, do something, but stay off of social media. And we'll come back next week and hopefully bounce back against a struggling Ravens team who, despite them struggling and despite them being injured, I will not take them lightly, but hopefully we can bounce back next week. But for now, take the rest of this weekend and just do something else that makes you happy. And as always, go Rams.